So this might sound a bit like a car insurance ad, but I potentially just saved myself over £80 a year by simply tweaking and improving the way I automate my washer dryer. So when we first got our smart washer dryer, it has an app that apparently makes it smart. I immediately set about figuring out how I could automate it, even though it doesn't directly integrate into any smart home ecosystems. So I initially set up a Siri shortcut, which sent a reverse engineered command to it to set it up with our usual wash cycle with a appropriate delay to start it around the time that our cheap electricity kicks in overnight. Now, I've made a few improvements over the years so that it was actually automated within my smart home ecosystem. So when I closed the door, it queued it up. But the premise was still basically the same. It would work out the amount of time between now and my cheap electricity window and add the appropriate number of hours delay. Now, the trouble with this approach is that it could be up to nearly an hour early or late at starting the washing machine because it's based on the time that you begin the delay and not a start at 11:30. Why you can't just configure an exact time to start in an app for a supposedly smart appliance, I don't know. So I finally got round to attacking the issue recently that was stopping me from just saying start at 11, and that is the fact that it would randomly fail to issue the command about half the time. So it would be too high of a failure rate to just say at 11:30, send the start command to just start now, and we'd wake up too often with clothes not being cleaned and dried. So what I did is I managed to add a REST sensor to Home Assistant, which polls the machine and checks for a response, and in that response works out, is the machine on, connected, and not running. Only if all three of those things are true does it send the start command at the beginning of my cheap electricity window, and it retries a couple of times until it gets a response back saying that it is now running. Now, I wasn't actually motivated by energy saving when I finally got around to doing this. I just got tired of the fact that when you closed the door, you had to first turn the machine on and wait 10 seconds, then close the door in order for it to queue up correctly. And my older son is learning how to load the machine, so I wanted to make it as simple as possible for him. He can just turn it on, close the door, and it will run at 11:30. But since I'd finally managed to do this, I was curious to see how much this could potentially be saving me. Now, since we run our washer dryer every single night because our younger son has a disability, which means he burns through multiple sets of clothes a day, I worked out our potential cost saving based on an average of half an hour of incorrectness per night. Throughout the year, using a kilowatt of energy at the wrong time every single night meant that I could be saving over £80 a year by nailing the timing of this, which is just crazy. Like, smart homes are just absolutely amazing, aren't they? I didn't have to add any hardware, buy anything new. I just took what I already had and then improved it and potentially saved myself £80 a year. Remember, home is where the smart is.